Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 444. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Guest, joined by Corey Fonsad.
I am inevitable.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Love you 3,000, guys.
I was going to end with that one.
That's a good one. Yes. Quote of the night there. So this is we are in the end game. We are past the end game. I don't know. For those who haven't seen it, which is I just can't believe the amount of money this did. Not many. There's got to be like so many people. Like, how many people that listen right now have not seen this yet? Except for maybe Mike. I know Mike's going to see it this week. I know. So we will have
if you've gone 4 days without seeing it, like, you've been spoiled.
Probably it's something has been spoiled for you.
I mean, we know people are assholes. So.
And I hate that. Like,
I'm not victim blaming, but like, come on, dude. Like, we gave him advice. I was like, dude, don't even play your online game.
No,
like, just don't.
I know, but he's not in the wrong here. He should be able to play games.
No, he's not. Yeah. I'm not victim blaming, but again,
for those,
it's just one of those things, where it's just like,
and people
hey, man,
don't doing it without realizing it also, because they're just talking, like he was mentioning like people in his restaurant.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the problem.
He works at a restaurant across from.
Well, you know what's funny? Like, what we're talking about here is Mike, who's not on, unfortunately. He had certain things spoiled for him in Rocket League. So because somebody spammed the chat with it. Yeah. So I'm sure the biggest spoiler was spoiled.
Oh yeah.
Much like for me, it was Star Wars, but.
So on this podcast, we're not going to spoil anything. So if you somehow haven't watched Endgame, you're fine for this episode.
I wouldn't say spoil anything, because I do believe we're going to have a serious conversation for Game of Thrones episode 3. So
but for Avengers Endgame, we're not spoiling anything.
Yes, that will be completely spoiler free in this episode. But we will be spoiling something. Because there's no way to talk about episode 3 of Game of Thrones without ranting about certain things. And so what we'll do is we'll give you guys a heads up when we get to that segment. We're going to talk probably for 5 minutes, maybe 7. I'm thinking about giving us 7 minutes, because last time we went over by a 2-minute solo. I'm thinking 7 minutes. All right,
there's a lot to talk about in this one, so
we'll see.
Jump into the box office.
Yeah, let's go to the box office, because we do start off with what we've been up to.
Something happened, right? Yeah.
But I mean, the big thing of the week right now is Endgame. I lowballed this, and I thought I was going for the moon on this one, but I was way off. 315 million was my prediction. This movie brought in $357.2 million in a weekend, thus setting a very high bar for anything to follow. Do we see this breaking anytime? Getting like anything breaking?
Imagine. I mean, maybe in 10 years on the next end of a series like this. I mean, but like Star Wars, not even going to come close.
No, I don't think Star Wars comes close. Like,
I think what they're early talking about with Star Wars Episode 9, this is the only thing that Star Wars can do to help the movies. If Star Wars somehow opens with about 290 to 300 million, there's a chance another movie. If it does, there's a chance that there will be a movie that breaks it sooner than we think, just because of trends.
I mean, I think that it's going to be around the 200 mark at the
I do too. I think Episode 9 could do 250.
There is nothing like this, and we talked about this before it came out. I mean, there is nothing like this event. This like
it is an event. Like, this is an event.
Eyes on this thing, like it's amazing. It is. I mean, absolutely. Like,
I mean, for me, we all saw this on this podcast, just so you know. So we're gonna. Yeah. Oh, you saw it 2 times.
Same here.
I'm fresh seeing it on Sunday, so I saw it quick. And I got to say that. There were so many feels in this movie. I was, what's hilarious is there were people talking about moments that they cried, and I'm not giving any spoilers here. I'm not.
Yeah.
But I was crying in different parts, which I can't wait to talk about the spoiler. Not crying. I was like, I was getting goosebumps and like just
chill.
Yeah, I want to say like the opening night when I saw it on Thursday night. There was a woman who was sobbing uncontrollably.
Did you see the headline? Like somebody who had to go to the hospital for sobbing.
No, I mean this is like it was almost like fake crying. It's what it sounded like. It's how loud it was. And this, I mean, and not to spoil anything, but it's like the end of like an era. It's like closing out, and it's like it's sad.
It's
and, like,
called Endgame.
These characters, but I mean, I was like, I felt really bad for it, but at the same time, kind of annoyed because it's like uncontrollably for half an hour straight.
Just sticking to the numbers. Just sticking to the numbers here in the box office, 357.2. This movie is now going to cross today. will be crossed 400 million domestic. It crossed 1.3 billion worldwide already. This thing is on pace to break $3 billion worldwide. It is on pace to break $1 billion domestic. That is insane. The holds are better. There were so many people that had predicted that it would do like 315 to 320 and be extremely front loaded. And I had to say that I was in that area. I'm not saying it was going to be like a massive drop, but I was thinking like 160 to 170 week 2. It's looking at like 200 million now. But like so I'm in the wrong
there also. It's like, nobody even cares about anything else at the moment.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's unprecedented. Like, I even posted in or Discord. I took screenshots of my AMC theaters for this Friday. Like this Friday, the viewings are almost sold out already.
Dude, I was like looking at it on the weekend, and the 4 a.m. shows were sold out.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's insane. This movie was shown 72 hours straight in AMC theaters, and I think that helped a lot in terms of the numbers. If they do this with another movie, they might do this with Star Wars.
We're talking about it, but some theaters were just like, well, you know what? Screw everything else. Like nobody cares about those movies. We're like selling like maybe 2 or 3 tickets. So like we're just gonna show Endgame in every screen.
I will say for the first time ever, Marvel owns number 1 and number 2 of the box office. It's the first time ever. First time I think anybody's ever
Captain Marvel bump I was talking about.
Captain Marvel did 8.5 million or something like that.
That was going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I think I was saying that Ant-Man would be a lot more important to watch before, and I think that was clear in this one.
I think we would all recommend.
You should definitely see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
If you haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp, which I think we've talked about, I think with Mike even we said that that Ant-Man and Wasp should. But this is before we saw Endgame. But we would recommend that, obviously, all 3 of us, that you watch Ant-Man and Wasp, I think, the most. So, yeah, I think this movie, we'll stay on it here. This movie is insane. It's a product of 20. Now, this is the 22nd movie or 21st movie?
23rd?
20. I thought it was 22nd.
Oh, if it's the 22nd, then it's the 22nd. But I know there's at least 22. If not, this was the 23rd.
That's what I thought. This was 22. There was 21. But it's a product of a lot of hard work by a lot of directors, actors, staff. I mean, it's been insane how many years they put into this to get to the point they're at, and the payoff here is a bank for Disney. I mean, it is like they invested. Yeah, but they invested. This was a long play.
A printing press of money.
Yeah. This was a long play. I mean, this was, over
and it could
10
have
years in the making.
Fell flat on its face and like nothing.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing is like if you think about any of the moving parts that had, because like again, briefly go over again. First of all, they had their like B and C listers to start out with. Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, like those were
even
B,
the directors were B and C.
The directors, a lot of the actors besides RDJ and what's his name, but he got replaced with the Hulk, Edward Norton.
Edward Norton was the big name. Yeah.
But all those guys got replaced. Even what was his name in Iron Man? He got replaced. Yeah, Rhodey. He got replaced by somebody cheap, way cheaper.
I forgot about it.
He got paid more for his role in that than Robert Downey Jr. did in Iron Man, I think.
Wow.
Well, I know he wanted to get paid the same amount as Robert Downey Jr. in the second one.
And Edward Norton, how bad do you think he feels right now? One in control of Hulk, character control.
Whatever, but you just think about all those moving pieces, and then as we go through Avengers, and then into Phase 2, when we start going into like the real obscure characters like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, like all these characters, like who, like really, like you're making a movie about this, like okay, man, like let's see this.
They were all solid movies, like they all had their they kind of took a shot at all different types of movies too. So it wasn't just like these are all superhero movies. They're like this is a heist movie with superheroes. This is like a space fantasy movie with
this is a magic kung fu mysticism movie and stuff like that. And that's what I love about it. But if you think about all those moving parts, all those moving pieces, we are in the perfect timeline, guys. Like we are in the perfect timeline because if you think about it, if a couple of those things bombed, like we wouldn't have had this today. So we're in the correct timeline.
It was successful. It was successful.
Yeah, they put the stones back. That's no spoilers.
So they had I lost where I was train of thought. I think that it's remarkable what Marvel has done, Marvel Studios,
And,
becoming
you gotta
Marvel
give
Studios.
a lot of credit to Kevin Feige.
Really?
I mean, that guy
Yes.
had a vision
I mean,
and saw it through, and even they also had like a little bit of bumps and stuff in the road and different pivots that they made, and like it all just worked out perfectly.
you gotta give, Disney Vision too. Disney bought them during this whole run before it actually became big.
Which is crazy to think about. If you think about how, like, I remember reading in the news, like, oh, Marvel's going independent with Iron Man and Hulk. It's like, okay, like, we'll see how that works out, because they were on the
they sold off all their biggest properties because they had no money.
Like,
we don't have money here.
Of 11 years, they went from being like underdogs against the entire Hollywood industry to dominating the industry. Like, I cannot think of another like comparison.
There's no franchise that even comes close. I mean, as far as merchandising and stuff like that, like Star Wars and Harry Potter are huge, right? But this is just still like beyond anything that anybody could have ever imagined.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, product of it, and they've done very well in the box office now. Overall, guys, just keeping it vague. What'd you think of the movie?
It's my favorite movie.
Your favorite movie, Tony?
My favorite movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've already seen it twice. I had to see it again the other day in IMAX because I was just like, oh, like there was like, I have the AMC A list, but around my area, like there's only one theater that does the AMC IMAX, so I was like, I should go see this.
Yeah.
So I saw it and it was beautiful. And like the thing is, like, I'm glad I saw it 2 times in the theater already. I don't know. We'll see. I might go again this weekend or something.
Yeah,
we'll see. But this is a great theatrical experience, at least in my opinion.
It's shot entirely in IMAX.
That's the thing. So I might go see it again because I saw it in Dolby Cinema, and I want to go see it in IMAX because now I found out it was shot entirely.
I actually went to see it in Dolby and then IMAX. So I've seen it twice.
Which one was better?
Dolby is just like a crazy experience, but the IMAX is like you just can't wait. The screen is not shrinking ever.
Yeah, it's huge.
So huge. Didn't even realize it was entirely shot that way.
But even past that, I'm just saying, like, with the crowds, and I know that's like your mileage may vary kind of thing. Yeah. But like opening night, I mean, it was so insane with all the cheers, like the laughter, the clapping, the even the gasp, the crying and stuff like that. And again, that's your mileage may vary because it depends on if you like that kind of stuff and how because I could see
opening how weekend though. You usually get the people that are really into it, like too.
Absolutely. So like this, like everybody was in like this is it. This is like huge payoff, and like people were like certain moments, people were like standing up in their seats and like kind of like fist.
What I loved about going to see it the second time, the opening weekend, was being able to like anticipate the reactions people would have.
Exactly. Yesterday, like I had this woman next to me, and it was her first time, and I didn't even want to say like I didn't even mention that I had already seen it. I was like, "Oh, are you excited for this?" She's like, "Yeah," but like she's going off, and I'm like, "Okay, like that's really cool." And like out of the corner of my eye, I was watching. She's like just her reaction.
There's so much that causes that reaction.
Yeah. And then to my right, I had this teenager, like young adolescent who again first time seeing it, but he honestly had like reactions like a YouTube reaction video where he was just like like no like all that kind of stuff, and I was like, this was like it was an event. I mean, it was an event for everybody.
I was going to tell this in the spoiler cast, but it's not a spoiler. But the second time I went to the theater to see this movie, the power went out right as we're walking in.
Wow!
And like, this is Friday night because I went to see it Thursday night, and then I went to see it Friday night again.
Nice.
And this is opening night for most people, right? It was pandemonium in that theater when the power went out.
I bet.
Like people were like ready to riot, and it was out for like a good 10 minutes, and people were like just so upset. And obviously there were shows going on at that time as well.
And
then the kid had a seizure.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Jeez. So it was an interesting night.
I would say I got really worried actually Sunday morning when we went to see it. We were seeing the 12 o'clock showing, and I heard how the crowds were, and I'm like, oh my god, let me get to the theater. And I got to say that lines were insane for getting into the theater for the non-reserved seating areas. It was packed
around me this week, and I went to 3 different theaters. Like not to see the movie, but twice I saw 2 different theaters. I drove past a third. Every time I went by, it was parking lot was full, like lines out the door. And stuff like that.
And this was at noon. There were people online for the 2 o'clock showing at noon, and it was a lot of people.
Is that AMC even said that they broke their concession records 2 days in a row. They broke it on Friday, and then they broke that record on Saturday.
Yeah, I
so
mean, they had
back-to-back.
It was their Black Friday essentially. I mean, seriously, they had so much staff at the AMC by us. It was, I mean, the line for the snack counter was moving great.
Yeah, I did feel bad for the workers a little bit. I mean,
sure, they're
it's
getting paid, but I understand.
They're getting paid, but at the same time, like you have to deal with these huge, humongous crowds and like
and irate people sometimes too, because everybody's on edge. So
no, at the end of the movie, they came out and it's like, please pick up your trash and bring it with you because we have another show coming right now. There's like no time. It's like going right in.
Okay. So I mean that's that for me. We got in there, and there was like the movie ended and people walked out and we walked in. It was I was like they're not cleaning the theaters, and I read later that they hadn't been because they were literally showing back-to-back showings of this thing.
Yeah, exactly. They were like please bring your trash.
This is why I don't know if this record is going to be broken anytime soon. There's very rarely will the theaters do this.
No, there's no event like this that is going to be the entire zeitgeist of like everything is coming together, culminating into this one thing.
It will be
10 years in the making.
I do think so 11. This is going to be crazy, but I do think if they give Star Wars a 5-year break, like a 4 or 5 year break without a major movie release, I think that a return to that could do it at that point. Because you have rising ticket costs. You have the break actually where the hunger can come back for people. I think it could do it by then. If not, then another Avengers
movie.
No, I don't. Because this is like so. Well, I'm not saying it has a non-zero chance.
Storm right now.
It's a perfect storm, and like the thing is like, with the end of the Rise of Skywalker, like we'll see. That depends on a lot of things because the potential, in my opinion, is going to be with a new trilogy where it's the entire new cast. And that's going to be dependent on how it does in China. Like if we're talking a worldwide record, like they need to get China and the other Asian territories on board because right now they don't give a fuck about Star Wars.
That's a good point. It doesn't do well over there. No, it doesn't.
And I think that's because like people just don't care about the original trilogy there because they're like whatever, these movies are fucking old as shit.
Yeah,
the special effect, like because that's what China's all about. They're about the razzle dazzle, like show me a spectacle kind of thing. Those aren't it, these days. Yeah, exactly.
Movies.
It's a very good weekend for them. All right. In other box office news, not much was going on. Captain Marvel made number 2 at least. Curse of La Llorona, 8.2. I know I butchered that name. I'm sorry, everybody.
The Conjuring movie.
Breakthrough and Shazam. So, yeah, there's your top 5. Nothing opening like you guys said this week. And then we get into Detective Pikachu the week after that. So that could do very well, but obviously it's going to feel the wrath of some Avengers tickets right now. It's still even Thanos. It will. I mean, even at that point, week 3.
I don't even think week 3. I mean, unless it does reviews really well, I can still see Avengers.
Nothing stops this train.
Yeah, nothing stops this
train.
It's still
probably going to make $100 million.
Oh yeah. It'll still
I mean,
pretty well.
Yeah, it will.
And this is like I was saying, like it feels like the shortest 3 hours. Like
it does, and that was the best part about this. I mean, it was the mark of a great movie is when I was like, the first little bit I was like, I'm gonna try to be spoiler free, but I was like, okay, it's, and then it picked up, and then I was like, okay, it's, and I next thing I know, I'm walking out of the theater, I'm like, wow, that was 3 hours.
Spoiler, we all love this movie.
So it was really good. All right, other things that we've watched, guys. Now that we can incorporate this together. Everything else other than Game of Thrones, I would say, because I had jury duty today, so I watched a lot of Grand Tour, which I love, and I would recommend people watch that. Anything with cars or even just funny like comedy things, you should watch that show.
For a second there, I thought you were talking about Dragon Ball Grand Tour, and I was like, wait, what?
No, Grand Tour. It's on Amazon, so I watched that today. But other than Game of Thrones, did you guys watch anything else besides? Nope. Okay, so Game of Thrones.
Some of The Rookie, but that's the Nathan Fillion show.
How is it?
It's good. I like it.
Good. All right, Game of Thrones. Episode 3 is out. It obviously came out. The Battle of Winterfell.
If you haven't watched it,
the Battle of Winterfell came out, and we're gonna do. I'm gonna get the timer going. We're gonna do 7 minutes on this thing. I'm gonna get a little timer going here. I'll watch it on my stopwatch here. Starting now. No more. We're gonna do some spoilers. Talk freely, so because you have to with this. All right, guys. So Battle of Winterfell is out, and obviously the biggest thing, the battle with the Night King is over. I did not see this happening in episode 3.
Yeah, yep. It's certainly over.
I mean, it was all leading up to it to happen before the Cersei thing.
The thing is
which
this:
just seemed
I
like,
thought there was
really?
going to be like a twist where it just wasn't going to end right now.
No, there was a twist. I wouldn't consider it a good one.
I'm okay with it being Arya. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm perfectly fine with who did it. I'm perfectly fine with everything. Why does it have to be Jon Snow? He's been the front face the whole time. Shouldn't be Jon Snow. I'm sorry.
They've been like building him up for this moment, like for like how many years?
It's a red herring.
That's what I'm like.
Very happy.
You should have just like not done any of the
They've
shit.
also been building up Arya as like the super assassin that can kill anything.
Yeah, but to kill like regular living people, like none of the training.
No. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Like the Wraith girl? Like I wouldn't say she's a regular living person.
Yeah,
she's not a White Walker.
No, but I mean you train to kill some. You're trained to be a killer.
Like, hold on, did you guys even watch like the post?
I watched the post. They had a plan for 3 years.
No, they're like, oh, she struck perfectly in like his one weak spot. And I'm like, really? Like,
that I didn't know. I thought it was just the dragon glass or the Valerian steel. Valerian steel is what they said.
No, if you stuck him anywhere else, he would have been fine, according to whoever was giving the interview. I don't know. Like, look, you guys could like it. I think it was the biggest crock of shit ever.
Yeah,
like. I literally don't even care about the series anymore. Like,
I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't like. I'm in agreement with you because I feel like the events went backwards. I feel like the battle for the throne, because that is the least important thing that's going on in the universe, should have been first, and then the Night King should have been the finale. This should have been the finale, but now they're going to give us disappointing finales. What's going to happen?
Yeah, and
the other thing is Cersei's like they're making Cersei the big bad of the series.
And I just don't understand. I just don't see how. Like,
they kept teasing the Night King the whole time.
Right, and the other thing is, like, for how many years now has King's Landing been in utter chaos and despair because, like, you know, they're running out of money, they're running out of food. I mean, I thought the last I remember was the bank, whoever they are, the Golden Company or whatever. Is it the Golden Company? I thought they cut her off because he's like, well, you're not. You know, your credit isn't as good as your dad's. Sorry. And I thought that they cut her off, and she was like, "Oh, and go crazy."
She got the Martell family together. She got that.
I gotta do something for work real quick. I'll be back.
All right.
She got the Martell family. She got the Greyjoys, and I think that helped with her credit. I don't really know, but the Golden Company kind of came into it last minute, really, in my mind. But I just feel like I feel like they copped out on some major character deaths. They almost pulled a Walking Dead with this episode.
And thank you. That's what exactly I was talking about with Corey. The first, because like there's so many parts where it's like, oh, this character's gonna die now, and it's like somehow they live. I'm like, okay, like Sam had 3 different sequences where he should have been dead, and I was like, okay, sucks. Like the next time we're gonna see Sam, like we're gonna see his corpse. Like, nope, like he's still like he's in a different area of Winterfell, and he's still like
Brienne.
Yeah.
I mean, she was dead like four or five times. Every time you're like, okay, this is it, closing on the wall. You know what would have been crazy is I really thought at one point like it was going to be shoot, God, my God, oh my God, Peter Dinklage's character.
Tyrion.
Thank you. Tyrion just completely slipped my mind. I thought it was going to be Tyrion in the crypt at one point, and I'm shocked that they lived through this whole thing. And they really copped out. They gave us all the minor character deaths. It was very Walking Dead-ish, and I'm not trying to say Walking Dead because of the zombies. I'm trying to say Walking Dead because of the way characters didn't die. Yeah, there was zombies in this episode, but it wasn't. It didn't feel like a Walking Dead until they copped out on the deaths.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about with Corey in the Discord. It's like if this were Walking Dead, like okay, whatever, I would because there's been precedent in it. Game of Thrones, this is unprecedented in terms of like like this character is just swarmed by zombies. Their back is against the wall. Yeah. They're dead. Like there's no.
I'll be right back. You guys keep going. Keep going.
Just rotating like. Rotating.
Yeah, I had a work thing. No, with the I don't know where you guys were left off. But it sounded like you're talking about just like it felt like they went soft a little bit here, where they definitely had plot armor for some characters, and like you want to have this big battle, like stakes are high, but it didn't really feel like the stakes were that high for a lot of these characters, and you're like, wait, wasn't that character like in the front line, and now all of a sudden he's not in the front line? It's like, what happened there? So it's like, well, we need them for the the battle with Cersei in King's Landing, so whatever, they'll just survive. And that's not what Game of Thrones has been known for. And I think that that's due mostly to the fact that it's a TV show now instead of being based off a book here. I think I believe George R. R. Martin would have had things go a lot differently here. But at the same time, you do get a lot of deaths of people that you've been around for a while, and so I just think they could have had more. It would have made more sense to have more.
Like who died? The Light Knight guy, he died, right? And
Barrick,
the other Night Watch guy died.
Ed,
and
Leanna Mormont died.
I guess Jorah did die, right?
Yeah, Jorah Mormont died.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people. It was like thousands of people look like they died here. Just like the big names, like Jamie, Brienne, Tormund,
Hound.
Yep. Yeah. So we'll see. The thing that I thought was kind of funny was the crypt sequence.
Dude, that bothered me so bad. Like, hey, first of all, the fact that they're like, we're fighting a guy that can bring back the undead. Yep. Go to the crypts. Like, that'll be safe.
Yeah, let's go to a graveyard where there are dead people buried. At the same time, it's like, really, like, one of these guys couldn't break out of a wooden box, but they're breaking out of crypts.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, wait, like, you're strong enough to break through these, like, stone and whatever.
It's paper mache they made them with, man. That's why.
So inconsistent.
Yeah, so I
and then in the end, and in there, it's like they didn't do anything. Like nobody tried to defend themselves.
Yeah, they just ran away.
It was like weird.
So no more spoilers.
Okay.
Overall, what do you guys think? I liked the episode. I know Tony, you hated it.
Poo platter.
Yeah.
I really liked the battle. I thought it was very well done. Obviously, there's complaints about the lighting.
I'm sorry. The battle could have. Yeah. Oh, well, I heard that was a glitch anyway. I think.
The guy came out and said, the camera guy came out and said, it's not too dark. I filmed it. I should know.
It was too dark. I was having issues on my OLED.
too.
I was having issues on my OLED.
It's tough. I really liked the battle though. It felt like Helm's Deep.
I liked that was the grandest battle I've seen actually, and besides like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, like that was. And even then, it was
like the Helm's Deep battle. It was like two towers here. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Like it felt good. It's just there weren't the consequences weren't there in my opinion.
I understand. That was the thing. So
again,
I do agree with you on that.
What the fuck? I'm sorry. I have to. I'm sorry. If somehow you what the fuck was Bran doing? 2/3 of the episode, he's like, "I'm going now," and like he wars into like ravens.
His whole thing was just a boat. Did nothing. He turned into nothing.
Well, we don't know that yet. We still don't know. The show's not over.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I hear
there's something. There's some purpose to what he's doing.
Yeah, I hear this weird conspiracy thing where like Bran is going to be the Three-Eyed Raven is going to be like the ultimate big bad. So that now everybody's going to go down to like take out Cersei, and meanwhile Bran's going to stay behind because there's always got to be a Stark in Winterfell, and then he's going to like. I don't know, do something with the children of the forest, and they're going to be the last.
He's going to rebuild the wall. I know that. But
Crown the Builder.
I'm just not excited anymore.
Yeah.
This is what we all like. I imagined this being final. It's like you mentioned, Jim, where like the series starts with the White Walkers. It should have ended with the White Walkers.
Yeah, the books. If you read the books or you haven't read the books,
I'm saying the series opens with the White Walkers.
Game of Thrones is book 1. This is a Song of Ice and Fire, not Game of Thrones. The throne is not important in this world. It is in overall, like in the arcing, like, but the main thing is that Night King, and I expect in George Martin's books to actually have the Night King as the big. I expect
George Martin not to write these books. So.
Well, they don't even have the Night King in the books, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
there's
a Night King.
Yep.
There is?
Yeah. He's the big bad.
Okay.
He's got his army of people.
We don't know, Jim. We don't know now. Who knows? I mean, George R. R. Martin, could have been exactly what he envisioned. And so
obviously those things were, but we'll see. But all right, what else we got here? We got some news. We got some news. Let me bring it up here. Sorry. Let's see. Netflix Marvel characters are not able to be used by Disney right now. Even though the contracts were canceled, they're 2 years past their canceling dates. They have control of them still. So that's pretty crazy. Shocking to hear. Don't expect a Disney Plus series for anything that was on the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
not for a
same,
couple of years.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean they weren't going to use Daredevil immediately, anyways. After how the fallout from that, and this gives them time to let that character set and then reset. So
I don't even know if I'd be interested in another reset though. Like I just.
I think them doing Defenders on their Disney Plus would be cool. I'm not saying to do
I
individual
don't want to
shows.
see Defenders ever again.
Yeah, you don't want to see that one. I think they could do it
Maybe I just at this point I'd rather just take something
because
new.
we're already going to get a more expanded universe in Disney Plus.
No,
So
I know, but I'd rather just see almost anything.
Well, we're getting kind of new stuff with familiar characters. So.
yes. Let's see, and well, there goes. I went blurry. Crazy thing about the news is that Disney now might own all of Hulu, or actual way majority of Hulu. Right now, they own I think 45% or whatever it is. That's the Fox purchase. The other part, big company owner is Comcast, and they were talking about selling to Disney.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means for Hulu because Disney Plus is coming out, but it's not great. So
Hulu's more of like the live television stuff.
Sure.
Service.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've had their own original content too mixed in, but I do like their product for having the live TV shows in it with a mix of their own stuff. I think they do
and
that.
They also have live TV on there too. Like
yes,
you can get live TV if you want.
So that's true. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the news this week. It was a light news week. Because we have our spoiler cast coming up of Endgame. Again. So make sure you tune into that. We're gonna go into let's see. If you haven't tuned into that, tune into that. Again, spoiler cast means if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch it, but don't listen. But come back and listen to it afterwards. So that's coming up for you guys if you haven't listened to that first. But definitely check it out. That's going to wrap up 444 of the Moviecast. Thanks for tuning in. Write us podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button.
Love you 3000.
Love you 3000.